From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. Looking ahead to Sunday, another heat wave could come back as we could have high temperatures up around 105 in the lower Columbia Basin, around 100 in the valleys and in the foothills. We'll definitely have more to say about that later in the show. Let's take it back to this morning as wind gusts still sticking around. Peak gust around 30 miles per hour right now in the Kittitas Valley, between 20 to 30 miles per hour right now for the foothills and for the lower Columbia Basin. So breezes and winds will be a factor once again for today, but they're not going to be as strong as they were for yesterday. And thankfully, the vegetation is not going to be as dry and the air is not going to be as dry. Right now, temperatures in the 60s for lower elevations, feeling very pleasant. A little bit cooler in the Cascades with 40s and 40s and 50s in the Blues. Your day planner forecast for today, 70s and 80s around lunchtime, and then mostly 80s and 90s at the peak of daytime heating. So the high is going to be fairly normal for today and tomorrow, but then another heat wave for Saturday through Wednesday. Again, triple-digit heat, and the forecast staying pretty dry over the next 7 days, so that is only going to exacerbate fire concerns. But I'll have a lot more to say about the heat wave coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, after a string of local break-ins, authorities say they have found the man they believe to be responsible for them. How detectives tracked down a serial burglary suspect nearly a year later.
Also, a domestic disturbance takes a dangerous turn in Prosser. How a quick-thinking citizen and a police drone helped bring a violent suspect into custody.
And a record-breaking gift for education. Battelle investing millions into a one-of-a-kind STEM center at Columbia Basin College. How it could spark a love of science for generations to come. It's all on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jade Elliott. Thanks for waking up with us on this Thursday morning. We have a lot to get to.
Thursday.
And now you know it's Thursday.
July 10th. There we go.
It's hard to remember sometimes.
Exactly. But we want to start with new information this morning. A Kennewick woman is facing DUI charges after officers say she drove straight onto active railroad tracks.
Yeah, take a look at photos from the scene. Police were called out just after 1 o'clock this morning near North Center Parkway and West Gage Boulevard, where they found a black sedan on the rails. You see it right there, courtesy of the Kennewick Police Department. Now, the driver was identified as Natalia Carrillo Diazes, and she was spotted nearby asking people for help getting her car off the tracks.
Officers say she appeared highly intoxicated, and surveillance video showed her driving directly onto those tracks.
As she has been arrested after being cleared medically, and she's been booked into the Benton County Jail.
Now to a crime alert out of Kennewick. Police say they finally made an arrest following a string of business break-ins from last year, and it's all thanks to DNA. Detectives working with the Department of Corrections arrested 44-year-old Aiden Chapa of Pasco in connection to at least 4 commercial burglaries that happened in September of last year. Now, each case involved tampering with power meters to cut electricity and entry through windows or doors. Cash was stolen in several of the break-ins, and in one case, investigators say the suspect dropped a headlamp at the scene, leading to key DNA evidence that helped them crack the case. Video footage from multiple locations also helped link Chapa to the crimes, and he's facing multiple burglary charges.
Now, this morning, a Prosser woman is safe and a suspect is behind bars thanks to quick action from local deputies, officers, and a concerned citizen. Deputies say the woman called 911 after her ex-boyfriend showed up at her home intoxicated and tried to kick in her front door. At one point, he forced his way inside, smashed her phone as she was calling for help, and before officers arrived, he took off on foot. Now, a nearby citizen spotted a suspicious man running towards a car that was occupied by 2 other men and alerted deputies. Well, that tip led authorities to the suspect, who was hiding in the back seat. He was arrested and taken to the Benton County Jail, now facing charges including residential burglary, interference with the reporting of domestic violence, and malicious mischief. 6:04 now, and a follow-up this morning on a brush fire that claimed multiple houses. The Selah Fire Department responding to a fast-moving brush fire near Rixon Park just yesterday morning.
Selah dispatchers received the call just before 9 a.m., and when crews arrived, the fire had already climbed uphill and ignited 2 homes while threatening a third. The Yakima Fire Department also responded, sending multiple engines and a battalion chief to help assist.
So in total, there were 2 homes that were completely destroyed. A third home was damaged. Luckily, no injuries reported. The fire burned about 17 acres before it was contained around noon.
And officials say they are investigating whether the fire may be suspicious, but if you have any information, call police. Now in Pasco, with food insecurity on the rise in Washington state, Second Harvest is helping get food to families all across the region. Second Harvest Inland Northwest has been serving Washington in Pasco and Spokane for about 53 years. They distribute food to more than 250 hunger fighting programs, and that's across 26 counties in northern Idaho as well as eastern Washington. The organization also partners with local growers in eastern Washington to provide fresh produce to those in need. However, the director of community partnerships says a growing trend that he sees is more and more working families turning to food banks for help.
And one of the things our partners on the front line have really noticed is there are more working families who are having to access food banks and food pantries, and we absolutely recommend that people do it.
For more information on Second Harvest, head over to our website. That's applevalleynewsnow.com. Now, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, we'll sit down with our very own Josh Colbreth to talk about the potential impacts of federal cuts to the U.S. Forest Service and also how they could leave fire crews understaffed and just as fire season is heating up.
And give me a beautiful live look outside this morning from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky camera at Richland's Columbia Point, overlooking the mighty Columbia and Howard Damon. When we come back, we will also be checking in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth and your First Alert forecast.
Friday, July 11th, your Tri-City Dust Devils play as the Columbia River Rooster Tails, complete with a family feast night featuring select food and drinks for $2.50, all thanks to the Tri-Cities Airport. Then don't miss the post-game fireworks show on Saturday, July 12th, presented by Columbia Basin Hearing Center. For tickets, head to the official site, DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
Get ready to feast at Legends Casino Hotel's ultimate all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Dive into fresh Dungeness crab, wild Columbia River salmon, juicy prime rib, and much more. Taste it all every Thursday and Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
Expand your access to library services with the Great Rivers Library Partnership. Get a library card at the following participating libraries. Get your Mid-Columbia Libraries card and unlock access to over 350,000 books across 12 locations. High-quality programs like author visits, performers, and special events, and more. Plus, no late fines. Visit a Mid-Columbia Libraries branch near you for more information, or visit midcolumbialibraries.org/reciprocal.
It is Operation Best Friend every Wednesday as we feature lovable pets from area shelters all looking for their forever homes. Operation Best Friend from Christine Connolly, As You Wish Real Estate Services, and the Manthei Group Cross Country Mortgage.
July is Ultraviolet Safety Month. Remember, UV causes skin cancer, so always wear sunscreen with an SPF of at least 15. More at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Sponsored locally by Prosser Memorial Health. This is how we care.
Max Extra, Dexter, resurrected in New York.
You really like serial killers.
Inside his TV return with Uma Thurman and Peter Dinklage as the new blood. Max Extra.
Tonight at 7:30 on Apple Valley News Now.
This newscast sponsored by Walker's Furniture and Mattress. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on a zone-by-zone tour of this morning's temperatures. A little bit cool up towards Snoqualmie Pass with mid-40s, but we're in the low 60s this morning in the Kittitas Valley, low to mid-60s in the Yakima Valley, and then for the lower Columbia Basin, mostly mid-60s. We were a little bit closer to 70 earlier this morning in the Tri-Cities. Mostly 60s in the Blue Foothills, some upper 50s in Heppner, and 40s and 50s in the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Here's your CODEcast for today for the Tri-Cities. you would maybe need the lightest jacket in your wardrobe for the earliest parts of this morning, but by 10 a.m., mid-70s, and at the peak of daytime heating, we're going to be around 90 degrees in the Tri-Cities. This is actually going to be a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year, so that's a nice pace of change of pace, but it's still going to be definitely toasty out there. Okay, here's Futurecast. Upper level wildfire smoke. Not going to see much throughout the course of the day. We'll step it throughout the course of the day, and you can just see not very much on the map. But this evening, that's when things change just a little bit. Upper level winds shifting out of the north and east, and that could put some very light haze, light to moderate haze in portions of Adams and Grant County, maybe up towards the Hanford site as well. But in terms of significant reductions to air quality, we're not expecting that.
All right, Josh, now over the past several months, we've been talking about cutbacks to different government agencies, and yesterday we talked about the cutbacks regarding the National Weather Service.
Yes.
Yeah, so now this morning we're talking about cuts that could make fighting wildfires a lot harder. You're back with us. You're going to talk to us about the U.S. Forest Service and cuts that they're seeing.
Right on the cusp of wildfire season.
I was
going to
say,
are we?
This is a crucial time to be seeing cuts like this.
Yeah, and again, keep in mind that we're not into the meat and potatoes of fire season yet. So the moment of truth is coming up over the next couple months. But absolutely, interagency cooperation is essential to fighting fires at the local, state, and federal level. So when the Department of Government Efficiency, commonly known as DOGE, laid off 2,000 non-firefighting probationary workers a couple months back, it was seen as a big hit to Washington's Department of Natural Resources, specifically to the Wildfire Division.
Thomas Kyle Millward, the Wildfire Communications Manager for the Department of Washington Natural Resources, says there's a lack of understanding from the federal government about state and federal partnerships in response to wildfires, especially when it comes to understanding the roles within the agency.
If someone was to go through a line item budget, they're going to see someone with a job title like forest conservationist, and they're not going to immediately assume, oh, this person is a wildland firefighter support staff member, and that person may get cut.
In addition to the DOGE cuts to personnel, the U.S. Forest Service can expect a decrease in funding as well. The House Agriculture Committee, which oversees the U.S. Forest Service, could see cuts of $230 billion. Thomas says the combination of funding and personnel cuts will end up directly impacting the support structure, like the role of the forest conservationist, around the wildland firefighter, and that is not a model for success.
There is very real concern at my agency level that, even once we look past the seasonal firefighter deficit potential, the very real possibility that the Forest Service won't be able to adequately support their suppression efforts due to the fact that so many support staff, that militia model, that ready reserve, those personnel members, are just simply potentially not employed.
Well, I first started working on the story months back when these cuts were first announced in February. Fast forward a few more weeks. At the beginning of March, I talked to Thomas with Washington DNR. He said he didn't know what was going to happen with the Forest Service. Now, fast forward a few months after that, now that we're on the cusp of fire season, he still doesn't know what's going to happen with the Forest Service.
It's not just the ecological concerns over the proposed cuts. There could also be impacts to our local economy right here in our region. Paul Tabion has family and friends that work in forestry and fire prevention services. He says people in those jobs also provide a boost to our economy.
Those are good paying jobs that people need when they're transitioning between college. Several firefighters I know were coming to go into college. Those are the kind of careers that really help fill in the gaps in our economy, but more importantly, help safeguard our land from not just rampant fires.
Republican Congressman Dan Newhouse represents the 4th Washington District. While he hasn't always agreed with the Trump administration on the issues, he is voting for these proposed cuts. When I asked for comment on the cuts to the Forest Service and the National Weather Service, he declined to answer, but his team sent me a statement. A strong, well-trained federal workforce is essential to our weather preparedness and wildfire response. I've communicated to the Trump administration that there should be a more nuanced approach to personnel and funding cuts. On his website, the congressman has a lengthy message he wrote back on March 3rd concerning cuts to federal agencies by DOGE. He says he wants to rein in spending and that DOGE can identify how to use taxpayer dollars to build on what is working in our government. We'll have a link to the full message at applevalleyNewsNow.com, but an interesting part to point out reads, it is vital that an entity like DOJ work closely with Congress and not default to a one-size-fits-all sledgehammer approach across the agencies. Thomas says Commissioner of Public Lands Dave Upthegrove says the DNR will take on a bigger role as needed this fire season, since there has been a lack of information from the federal government. And how will the DNR tackle the extra work? By depending on mutual aid agreements with other states as far away as Texas and North Carolina.
There's definitely some serious concern from my agency that the feds will not be able to field the same amount of seasonal firefighters that they fielded last year. And that definitely impacts things like response times and response capability when it comes to suppression.
Thomas says mutual aid response is not a new thing, but it may need to be relied on much more than usual. While the concern is still very real among people like Thomas and Tabayon, Thomas says the agency is going to give everything it has to keep people and their property safe.
Now, no one from the top of the NWS agency, and I know that was mainly about the Forest Service, but it ties back into federal agencies. No one from the top of the NWS agency to the regional office was willing to go on camera and discuss the layoffs on the record. So how will we be affected by potential cuts or layoffs when it comes to severe weather or wildfires? Unfortunately, it's just still up in the air.
So you talk about this impacting, possible wildland fighting. Before you said 2,000 non-firefighting probationary workers had been laid off. Two questions. One, kind of what were their roles and how is that going to impact anything? There were non-firefighters. And then have any actual firefighters been laid off that we know of?
Yeah, so in terms of the actual number of wildland firefighters, I don't have that off the top of my head. But
would it be seasonal or just for fire season? The probationary?
Well, so like he was explaining in the story, so like a forest conservationist in a line-by-line budget item, that would be someone who's responsible for forest management. And that's very important during the off-season to clear underbrush and to try to get all those fuels that they can out of our forests and out of our wildlands. And so when you don't have that work put in during the off-season, it makes the on-season firefighting effort especially difficult.
Right, like a domino effect.
Yes.
All right, thanks for breaking that down.
Part 1 from yesterday and part 2 all up on our website.
Yes.
All right, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Can't get enough of him this morning. We're going to check back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
He does it all.
JTV, Josh all the time.
That's right. Giving you a live look outside this morning from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. Blue skies are ahead for the day. And he's going to let us know how the forecast is shaping up and just how hot it's going to get. We're back after the break.
Right now at US Cellular, you can get 4 free phones plus 4 lines for $90.
Hey, we're tired of having the wool pulled over our eyes with these hidden requirements. What aren't we seeing?
Yeah. Do we get our choice of free phones?
Yep, you get the latest phones.
I bet we have to trade in our old phones, though.
Nope, sure don't.
Wow.
High five. Almost. Higher.
Yes.
Nope.
Get 4 phones plus 4 lines for $90 with no trade-in, and we'll pay off your current contract when you switch. US Cellular, built for us.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino, your premier gaming destination. Experience the thrill of a Vegas-style casino featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and unlock exclusive rewards every time you play. Challenge your skills at our 16-lane bowling alley. Unwind with a drink at our cozy bar, or enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Last Frontier. The ultimate entertainment experience has something for everyone. Nob Hill Casino, where locals come to win.
One day, maybe these were your people, or these. But maybe one day you noticed fewer people, which can feel different, but good, because now, older, we decide what our people means, how we spend time, even who they are. Like us, our people are their own people, and our connections keep us active, sharper, and happier. Find ways to connect with people of all ages at findyourpeoplewa.org.
Summer's heating up. Come check the lowest price guaranteed of in-stock refrigerators at Fred's Appliance. With pricing ranging to fit your budget, stay cool with a top-of-the-line refrigerator while taking advantage of our in-stock Get It Today inventory. Get yours before things get too hot. At Fred's Appliance, we promise you will experience hassle-free shopping with local expert help every step of the way. At Fred's, we sell appliances. Only appliances.
Warm months bring dangerous storms, many with lightning.
With advanced forecasting technology, trust the First Alert Weather Team to keep you ahead of the storm and help keep your family safe.
Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather, always on your side.
Next Live with Kelly and Mark, Rita Ora. Plus, it's shopping day and tips for cooking on a budget with the meat teacher, Matt Rohr.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Sunday going to be a First Alert weather day. As highs could be around 105 in the lower Columbia Basin, around 100 for the valleys and for the foothills. So that's kind of the middle of the story. Let's start off at the beginning of the story, though, as today going to be a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine across the map, and high temperatures actually going to be a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. 80s and 90s for a lower elevation, 60s in the Cascades, and 60s and 70s in the Blues. Winds still going to be impactful for today, but not as strong as yesterday, but it can still gust around 45 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley and elsewhere between 25 to 30 miles per hour. Thankfully, the vegetation is not going to be as dry for today. There's going to be a little bit more moisture up in the air, so hopefully that could curb the fire start potential. Now, the fire start potential, it's not going to be zero, but it's not going to be as high as it was for yesterday. For tonight, clear skies. Overnight lows down into the 50s and 60s for lower elevations, 40s in the Cascades and 40s and 50s in the Blues. For tomorrow, the wind's going to be much lighter across the map, but still after 2 p.m. they could pick up in the valleys and also up in the mountains. High temperature is going to stay mostly seasonal for today and tomorrow, and then from Saturday through Wednesday, persistent heat. We'll be up around 100 degrees in the Tri-Cities for each of these days. And for now, it looks like the first peak of it, maybe we could have multiple peaks of this heat wave, but it looks like the first peak of this heat wave probably going to be on Sunday. So let's take a deeper dive into Sunday, as highs could be between 100 to 105 in the lower Columbia Basin, but mid-90s in the Kittitas Valley, right around 100 in the Blue Foothills. So I think for our lower elevations, high temperatures of at least 95 is pretty safe bet for Sunday. And no rainfall in the forecast over the next 7 days. So you factor in the heat, you factor in the dryness, and our vegetation is really going to be stressed out next week. Fire danger is going to go up, and so we will be tracking that very closely. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Low to mid-90s today and tomorrow, then highs around 100 Saturday through Wednesday. In Yakima, upper 80s Thursday, mid-90s Friday, then our best shot at hitting 100 will be on Sunday. In Ellensburg, windy today, but not as strong as yesterday. More winds coming back as heat surges into this weekend. For Hermiston, low to mid-90s Thursday and Friday, then around the century mark Saturday through Wednesday. Finally, for Walla Walla, mid-80s today, then a bunch of 90s for Friday and beyond, within striking distance of 100 on Sunday and Wednesday.
Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, some country music legends are being recognized by the Academy. We'll tell you who coming up in your entertainment headlines at 6:23. We're back after the break.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
Here at the clinic, we offer our medical weight loss program. Diabetes, and more broadly, insulin resistance, is a highly inflammatory state that increases our risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, as well as Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases.
Basically, it's the lack of awareness about what's creating that weight. There's lots of psychological aspects to that, so that where you come to is to a more centered place of feeling good and connected and positive about yourself. Self-confidence.
You have access to over 100 weekly group fitness classes, top-notch fitness facilities, cutting-edge scientific therapies integrated into your program, and dedicated coaches rooting for your success. We also offer options for pharmaceutical assistance. We create patient-specific game plans centered around the 7 essential elements, which are sleep, nutrition, atmosphere, breathing, movement, thought, and purpose.
So rather than just focus, it's not dieting, and it's not focused on dieting, and that's not what we do here at Pacific Clinic. It's mind, body, physical, emotional, mental, and the combination of all of those things. And I think that makes us tremendously different than any of the other programs out there.
To get started, call 509-783-5465 and schedule an appointment with a client advocate today.
For over 4 decades, the art of fine catering has been perfected by CG Catering in Kennewick. Well known for their luxurious bites, lavish delights, and precision in every portion, CG Catering will grace any event from groups of 10 to 3,000. Meticulous menus with seamless service for all occasions is their tradition. From remote locations to their local event center, repeat clients provide ongoing rave reviews as a testament to the unforgettable memories they have inspired. Call CG Catering for your next celebration.
Stay busy this summer with the City of Pasco. Enjoy open swim at Memorial Aquatic Park from 1 to 5:45 p.m. every day, with lap swim weekdays at noon, or sign up for swim lessons throughout the summer. Join the all-ages Beat the Heat Run Walk Club on Wednesday mornings to earn entries for an end-of-summer prize drawing. Check out free, family-friendly movies and music at Pasco Parks, plus many more activities and events, all listed online at pascoparksandrec.com.
Welcome back. In your entertainment headlines this morning, we're getting a look at newly released body cam footage of Mary Lou Retton's DUI arrest. She's a former Olympic gymnast.
Yeah, the video from May 17th shows Retton appear to struggle with the field sobriety test and also refuse a breathalyzer test after being stopped by police in Fairmont, West Virginia. She was arrested and released from custody on $1,500 bond.
Last month, Retton entered a no contest plea to a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence and was fined $100.
She has since released a statement apologizing for her actions. And in more entertainment news, the Academy of Country Music just announced the special honorees for its 2025 ACM Honors Show.
Yeah, so the event will celebrate top artists, songwriters, and industry executives. Some of the honorees announced include Luke Combs, Eric Church, Jelly Roll, Rissy Palmer, and Randy Travis. Does his name make you giggle?
Yeah, I like Jelly Roll. Performers for the event will be announced soon. The celebration takes place August 20th. At the Pinnacle in Nashville.
Favorite country artists?
There really
Luke
are
Combs
so
is pretty
many.
up there.
Luke Combs is good. I think Morgan Wallen's great.
Morgan Wallen's up there. I like the mainstream ones, so yeah, I don't know too much.
But I like old
Casey
school
Musgraves.
too.
Oh yes, I love her too.
I mean, Randy Travis.
I don't know many of his songs.
3 Wooden Crosses, right? I think that's Randy Travis.
I think he did that.
I'm gonna listen to that.
There's a lot of good ones. I went to Nashville a few months ago, this last spring, and we went to the Grand Ole Opry, and it was amazing.
That's a bucket list thing for me.
Okay, so you're gonna make me a playlist and send it to me. Country music, yay!
I'll do it. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. 2 teens in custody after a deadly shooting in Pasco. The search took drones, canines, and multiple agencies. Now this morning, police say they have their suspects, and we have the details on the arrest coming up in your 6:30 half hour.
Allen Brecky Law Offices is a Tri-Cities-based regional law firm which emphasizes the rights of accident victims. If you've been injured, get a free consultation from the people who live and work right here in our community.
Something big is coming to Wild Horse Resort and Casino. He's elusive, he's famous, and there's a $120,000 Bigfoot bounty out for him this July and August. Spin the prize wheel for cash, free play, or the Bigfoot Bounty Progressive that increases each spin until it's won every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then on July 26th, one of 3 lucky Bigfoot trackers takes home $15,000 in cash. Come catch Bigfoot. Wild Horse Resort and Casino, celebrating 3 decades of fun.
We're back, baby.
Yes. I'm so excited to be here.
We actually watch you every night. You're in our bedroom every night.
The feud gets wild.
Come on. Grandma, he smells really good.
Weird.
Are you ready for this?
Take 2. And famously funny. Name something your mate's booty has in common with the basketball.
It bounces.
Celebrity Family Feud season premiere tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Welcome to Costa Rica.
let's get into it.
Bring on the ladies.
You want to be with her? Oh my.
Sponsored locally by Prosser Memorial Health's Dermatology Center in Benton City. Look and feel your best with cosmetic dermatology services.
How many times have you tried to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? What you need is the all-new waterproof Ruby Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away dirt and grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning at 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your Ruby Horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. Due to high demand, only 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-959-5913. That's 1-800-959-5913, or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. So call 1-800-959-5913 now.
Apple Valley News Now viewer Alan Rither of Richland.
We really appreciate Apple Valley News Now being on the air. It's more a part of our community.
We love hearing from viewers. Email comments at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Allen Brecky Law Offices is a Tri-Cities-based regional law firm which emphasizes the rights of accident victims. If you've been injured, get a free consultation from the people who live and work right here in our community.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica DeLong.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
It's been hot.
Yeah.
Astute observation.
To say the least. Thank you.
She is.
I'm really proud of that
pretty
one.
and smart.
Okay, it's been hot, but it wasn't as hot yesterday as it was the day before. But are we going to be seeing more of that?
Yes.
No.
Yes, he says. It was a little breezy this morning, too.
Yeah, a little bit breezy. It's still going to be breezy and windy throughout the day. Thankfully, not as strong as yesterday. The vegetation's not going to be as dry, so we're not as concerned with fire starts, but that concern around this time of the year is never zero, right? But hey, here's something that's
zero.
It's not zero anymore, as the jackpot's up to $75. Thanks again to our good friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel for sponsoring the 3-degree guarantee. Yesterday went with forecast high of 94. Had to sweat this one out a little bit, as it verified at 96. So the jackpot went up to $75. For today, a cooler 90. That's the forecast high in Pasco, Tri-City. So if it verifies between 87 to 93, the jackpot's going to hit $100. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleynewsnow.com, clicking on the contest page, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen. Okay, we have another first alert weather day for Sunday because of the aforementioned heat. Could be up around 105 for portions of the lower Columbia Basin and around 100 for the valleys and the Blue Mountain foothills. Like Jade was talking about, the winds are a factor for this morning, especially in the Kittitas Valley, gusts around 30 miles per hour and between 25, I'll say 20 to 30 miles per hour for the foothills and for the lower Columbia Basin. Looks like it's a little bit, the gusts a little bit stronger the closer you are to Hermiston as opposed to the Tri-Cities. Okay, current temperatures, it's feeling great for lower elevations, 60s, but 40s in the Cascades and 50s in the Blues. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Going to be around sunny and 75 as soon as 10 this morning, and then up around 90 at the peak of daytime heating. Technically a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year, but still certainly pretty hot out there. I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks so much. Beginning this half hour of news with a crime alert out of College Place. We've learned that police have arrested a man accused of using a drone for voyeurism near Walla Walla University.
Now, the investigation began after repeated reports of a drone flying near the women's dorm, and these reports date back to early 2024. Security recovered a crashed drone on campus, and police say data from that device led them to a suspect. Photos from the drone showed women in private moments, including inside dorms and neighboring homes.
So officers served a search warrant on Tuesday at a home on Northeast Tremont Drive. That's where they arrested 60-year-old Ross Wright. Wright's now facing 2 felony counts of first-degree voyeurism, and police have also seized data storage devices and say more charges could be coming.
And in Pasco, 2 teens are now in custody after a deadly shooting. Police say shots were fired just after 9:30 on Sunday night. This was on North 6th Avenue. When officers arrived, they found an 18-year-old man who was later identified as Paul Jacobo. He had a gunshot wound. Officers attempted life-saving measures, but he died at the scene. A massive search followed with drones and a K-9 team being deployed, but the suspects got away that night. Now, Pasco police have announced the arrest of 2 suspects in connection to the shooting, but the investigation is still ongoing.
6:35 now, and science and technology nonprofit Battelle is giving a record gift to a Tri-Cities college. Battelle has been a part of the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory for 60 years. The donation is Battelle's largest gift to the Tri-Cities during that time period. The Community STEM Learning Center will be put in an old high school building on Columbia Basin College's Pasco campus. CBC is receiving over $3 million to create the Community STEM Learning Center in the unused building. And they hope to get it all started soon. CBC is targeting next year to have this open to the public.
So the money will be used initially to help us get that building renovated and up to par to where it needs to be able to host the center. It will also be the resources we need to be able to hire the inaugural director and the staff to get the center up and running. It will also provide all of the funding to be able to get the equipment and all of the materials that will be needed to outfit that center.
So the building has operated as a utility space for the college over the past decade and will now add to CBC's STEM resources, which already include a planetarium and observatory, and renovations for the Learning Center are set to start soon. 6:36 now, and a man is being deemed a hero in Pasco after springing into action during a holiday fire emergency.
Yeah, this all happened over the 4th of July weekend when a family was camping with no cell service and had no idea that their backyard was on fire.
Take a look at this.
What just happened?
You hear him say there's a fire. They're talking through the Ring doorbell camera.
At the neighbor's house.
At the neighbor's
Yes.
house, yeah. And you see him rush in. It doesn't give us a timeline in this script, but I'm going to just assume that this was on the 4th of July. And, you know, they were just driving by. So flames.
And saw it, yeah.
Yeah, the
Luckily
flames
saw it.
were burning mulch and some pool flooring in the backyard of this home. That fire grew to about 6 feet tall. And the man who drove by said it was visible from Sandifer Parkway. So it was Nick Garcia. He saw it. He sprung into action.
He jumped the family's fence, actually, grabbed a garden hose and extinguished those flames before they could actually reach the home. And that neighbor's Ring camera was able to catch all of this, and it even caught him making sure that the fire was completely out long after it had passed.
Oh, yeah. So damage estimated about $1,700, but thanks to Garcia, I mean, it didn't get any worse. That if left unattended, I mean, you can only imagine the worst.
Yeah.
It could have
and
reached
they were out
the
camping,
home.
didn't know. Oh,
Exactly, I know.
Good people doing good things.
That's right, my friend. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We're talking sports, how a hard-fought game between crosstown rivals has ended with a championship title.
Also, 66 bunkers, 5 lakes, and a whole lot of grass. Our Jake Abel is speaking to the team behind the Wild Horse Golf Course to see what they're doing to stay tournament ready.
And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Dust Devils camera in Pasco. It is 6:38 on this Thursday morning, and when we come back after the break, we are going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He's going to have a look at your first alert forecast.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacy Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now on your side.
I'm not going to do anything flashy to announce my munchies under $4. The items you crave, like tiny tacos or French toast sticks for less than $4. But I will do something explosive! At Jack, every bite's a big deal! Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
Do you keep up with the trends or set your own?
Is the color dense enough?
Add more pigment. Launch on social.
We've got to take this global.
All right, so where do we go from here?
You've got to test it, perfect it, expand it. Never rest until it's right.
Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
At Columbia Basin Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons, your safety is our top priority. We are the only board-certified oral and maxillofacial surgery experts in wisdom tooth removal and dental implant placement in the Tri-Cities. With years of experience and a commitment to excellence, we ensure every patient receives safe, personalized treatment. Ask your dentist to refer you to the Tri-Cities experts in oral surgery, Columbia Basin Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons. We look forward to meeting you.
Amazing, breathtaking.
Just south of the Canadian border is an awesome trail with a waterfall you'll never forget.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beyond words.
Sweet Creek Falls on Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Next Live with Kelly and Mark, Rita Ora. Plus, it's shopping day and tips for cooking on a budget with the meat teacher, Matt Rohr.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
I'm not going to do anything flashy to announce my munchies under $4. The items you crave, like tiny tacos or French toast sticks for less than $4. But I will do something explosive! At Jack, every bite's a big deal! Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Next, ET, our exclusive with James Corden, plotting a Hollywood comeback. I love America. Plus, a Big Brother and Amazing Race first.
To spill the tea?
To spill the ET with me. Next, ET.
Tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now. There's only one.
Be careful what you say.
It's your daily moment of truth.
Don't tell me I'm correct. I'm always correct.
And she always gets the final word.
I'm speaking, not you.
Judy Justice.
Oh, I'm not believing you at all.
Weekdays at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's go ahead and take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's beautiful forecast. Lots of sunshine across the map. We're going to have high temperatures that are actually going to be a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. Low 80s in the Kittitas Valley, still windy up that way, gust around 45 miles per hour. Then in the Yakima Valley, mid 80s to perhaps even some low 90s, gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, I think most of us probably hit 90, or if not, we're going to be in the upper 80s. Peak gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour here. Those gusts going to be between 20 to 30 miles per hour in the Blue Foothills and the Blue Mountains. We'll be in the 80s for the foothills and mostly 70s up in the mountains. Okay, for today, despite the winds, we didn't go with a first alert weather day for fire starts, as the vegetation just not going to be as critically dry for lower elevation. Still an elevated level of dryness and still critically dry in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin. But watch what happens on Saturday. And another thing to keep in mind is that Saturday is just the very first day of this prolonged stretch of heat. And at that point, we're already going to be back up to critical dryness in the Cascades and the upper Yakima Basin, in the Kittitas Valley, the Yakima Valley, the lower Columbia Basin, and the Blue Foothills. And if we have a week of that, by the end of it, I have a gut feeling that maybe we could see this magenta color popping up on the map again, which would be significant levels of vegetation dryness, and that would be not great. But to show you the heat that's going to factor into this, I'll tell you just how hot we'll be during that stretch coming up in a few minutes.
All right, 6:43, talking sports now. The Richland National Little League 12U team is your new District 12 champs, coming out on top in a thrilling 9-7 victory over their actual crosstown rivals and friends at Greater Richland.
Woohoo! So it all came down to the final outs, and players say their hearts were pounding as they held on to that slim lead.
Yeah, the game saw multiple lead changes, but the Richland National team stayed focused, crediting their teamwork and dugout energy for helping them finish strong.
But the work for the boys isn't over yet. Now they get ready to play for a state championship.
I say keeping that focus up, giving maximum effort, and bringing our teammates up. That's what's going to make us be the one on top and succeed.
And a huge congratulations to both teams for an incredible game, and best of luck to Richland National as they head to Vancouver for the state tournament on Friday. Woohoo!
Yeah, good luck. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. We have your morning sprint, everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. And we'll check back in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. You'll have your full first alert forecast as we give you that live look outside this morning from our dust levels camera in Pasco. It's 6:44. We're back after the break.
It's a summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. How about you two?
Mud bath.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino, your premier gaming destination. Experience the thrill of a Vegas-style casino featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and unlock exclusive rewards every time you play. Challenge your skills at our 16-lane bowling alley. Unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Last Frontier. The ultimate entertainment experience has something for everyone. Nob Hill Casino, where locals come to win.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks. Toyota has the best resale value of all brands according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
To be out here in God's creation, to have the strength and energy at 77 years of age is pure joy, even when repairing fence from wind damage. I rely on Mile Health with the amazing science-backed formula for muscle support. As we age, mobility, balance, and strength are vital to help us keep doing the things we love to do, like me here on our ranch. Plus, to have lean, strong muscles can help prevent falls and will help in recovery from surgery and injuries. Don't let age and muscle loss rob you of your strength and vitality. Be strong with Mile Health.
Mile Health is supported by 25 human clinical studies. Call the number on your screen now and take advantage of our special buy one, get one free offer. We're confident you'll feel results or your money back. Call now.
Apple Valley News Now is Yakima.
Apple Valley News Now is Pendleton.
Apple Valley News Now is Tri-Cities.
Our broadcast center may be in Kennewick, but Apple Valley News Now is everywhere.
From the Blues in the east to the Cascades in the west, one television station is everywhere you want us to be. We're Apple Valley News Now, on your side.
We are on your side. It's a summer sales event. Great time to buy. Nice weekend, Hank?
Spectacular. Took the family camping, courtesy of Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. How about you two?
Mud bath.
Early warnings, accurate forecasts.
Apple Valley News Now First Alert Weather.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Sunday going to be another first alert weather day as more heat is returning. Could be up around 105 in the lower Columbia Basin, around 100 degrees in the valleys and the foothills. So let's show you how we get there. We start off with today. It's going to be a beautiful day, plenty of sunshine across the map, and high temperatures will actually be a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. So 80s and 90s for lower elevations, 60s in the Cascades, and 60s and 70s in the Blues. Winds will still be a factor for today, persistent throughout the day. Gusts around 45 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. Elsewhere, between, in general, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Thankfully, the vegetation not going to be as dry today. The air is not going to be as dry, so we're not as concerned with fire starts, but that potential is definitely not going to be zero. Then for tonight, clear skies. It's actually a full moon for tonight, the buck moon. That's whenever you get a full moon in July. It's called the buck moon because that's when the antlers grow on the male deer. So just a little shout out to a viewer. I don't know your name, but shout out to the viewer for sending in that email and giving me the heads up on that. Otherwise tonight, 50s and 60s for lower elevations, very comfortable. 40s in the Cascades and 40s and 50s in the Blues. For tomorrow, winds much lighter, but after 2 p.m. could still see some breezes in the valleys and also in the mountains. Okay, but back to the heat. going to be normal high temperatures for today and tomorrow, but up around 100 degrees in the Tri-Cities for Saturday through Wednesday. It looks like we could maybe have a couple different peaks to this heat wave. Peak number 1 on Sunday, peak number 2 next Wednesday. That's still several days out. So first we'll just focus in on peak number 1, which is going to be on Sunday. High temperatures around 100 to 105 for the lower Columbia Basin, but for all of our lower elevations, highs of at least 95 degrees are a pretty safe bet. And rainfall over the next 7 days, that would not be a safe bet. As for now, it looks like we're going to keep things very dry. You factor in the heat, our vegetation is going to be very stressed out, and we could see some significantly dry vegetation out there, so fire dangers will be going back up. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Low to mid-90s today and tomorrow, then highs around 100 Saturday through Wednesday. In Yakima, upper 80s Thursday, mid-90s Friday, then our best shot at hitting 100 will be on Sunday. In Ellensburg, windy today, but not as strong as yesterday. More winds coming back as heat surges into this weekend. In Hermiston, low to mid-90s Thursday and Friday, then around the century mark Saturday through Wednesday. Finally, for Walla Walla, mid-80s today, then a bunch of 90s for Friday and beyond, within striking distance of 100 on Sunday and Wednesday. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look,
it is day 6 of 30 of my ChatGPT challenge.
It's a challenge Jennifer Allen never thought she'd be doing.
Every day I'm asking for one task to make money to pay down my $23,000 in credit card debt.
30 days, 30 challenges, and with the help of artificial intelligence, one goal: erasing all that debt.
I would say the biggest change for me was looking at my debt every day, because I went from not looking at it at all to, being in it every day, looking at like where the numbers were, looking at what I could do.
And coming up at 7 a.m., what you need to know about how AI can help you erase debt. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Caplyta. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Call your doctor about new or sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks. Report fever, confusion, stiff muscles, which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High cholesterol and weight gain may occur, as can high blood sugar, which may be fatal. Common side effects are sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
Ask your doctor how Caplyta can help you let in the light. Find savings at Caplyta.com.
Time is now 6:53. It's time for your morning sprint, and we're starting off with your national headlines. We're learning that Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is taking on another role in the Trump administration. President Trump saying yesterday that he's directing Duffy to be the interim administrator for NASA. After the announcement, Duffy wrote that he's honored to accept the mission.
And at 6:53, here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning as you head out the door. A burglary case nearly a year old has finally been solved in Kennewick, all thanks to DNA. Detectives say 44-year-old Adon Chapa of Pasco was arrested for a string of commercial break-ins. Surveillance video and DNA from a headlamp left behind helped link him to 4 burglaries last September. He's now facing multiple felony charges.
And an early morning fire in Selah near Wixon Park destroys 2 homes and damages a third. Selah Fire says it broke out yesterday around 9 a.m. and quickly spread uphill before crews could fully contain it. No injuries were reported, and officials are still investigating the cause. A domestic violence suspect is behind bars this morning after trying to run from law enforcement and a drone. Deputies say the man broke into his ex-girlfriend's home in Benton County, smashed her phone while she was trying to call 911, and then a neighbor later spotted him hiding in a car nearby, and that's where he was found with the help of a Richland police drone and booked on multiple charges. Science and tech nonprofit Battelle is giving back to the community in a big way. It donated over $3 million to Columbia Basin College, and this is to help create a new STEM learning center on the Pasco campus. The goal is to have a hands-on learning space by next year.
What? Listen to this.
What just happened?
Pasco has a new hometown hero. Nick Garcia was driving by a home on Santa Fe Parkway. He spotted flames in the backyard. The family of that lived at that home was out of town. They were camping. They didn't have cell service. And Garcia just jumped into action. He hopped the fence. He grabbed a hose and was able to get that fire put out. I mean, really saving the
Not all
home.
heroes wear capes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just driving
and
by.
It was all caught on the neighbor's Ring camera.
Yes.
And
all
the
the
kids
action.
running to the action as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
love that.
I know. All right, 6:55 trending this morning. Imagine waking up at 6 a.m. to what sounds like someone breaking into your home, only to find that it wasn't a person at all.
A ghost? Nope, it was a deer. So take a look at this video.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, he's struggling.
Oh. He's on skates. Well, a full-on buck crashed straight through a living room window in New Jersey.
And what did the homeowner do? Well, he didn't panic. He grabbed the buck by the antlers and walked him right back out the door.
The buck stops there.
It was just another day. He's like, oh, hey, buddy, here.
Oh,
Here, let me help you out.
Yeah. So it turns out growing up around farm animals has its perks. He said it was game over once he got a hold of the antlers.
Must have been some Pine Sol just on that floor because he was really having a hard time.
Yeah.
Experts say this isn't uncommon. Deer can mistake dark windows for open space, especially when they're panicked and running from something.
Yeah, the deer made it out safely. No one was hurt. The window damaged a bit there, but other than that.
Oh, it's Bambi. Can you guys see my mom?
Little Bambi.
Sorry, too soon still.
I know. But all is well.
Yes.
But can you imagine?
I'm glad the deer's safe.
You would think it was someone breaking your home and then you would find an animal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first part of that was imagine waking up at 6 a.m. and I was like, oh, that'd be so nice, right? For our schedules. But the weather is good at that time, or early when we wake up.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And whenever we walk outside to go on our break, like it just feels fantastic out there.
And then it gets really hot.
Yeah, and then once it gets to like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'm parked inside at that point.
Running inside.
All right, we will take a look at temperatures in just a second, but the winds still impactful. Gusts around 30 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley, 20 to 25 miles per hour for the foothills and for the basin. These are going to be persistent throughout the day, but thankfully not as strong as yesterday. Temperatures right now, again, room temperature in the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, 67, 40s in the Cascades, 50s in the Blues. Later today, these highs actually going to be a couple degrees cooler than normal for this time of the year. 80s and 90s, lots of sunshine, a pleasant day. More normal highs for Friday, a smidge warmer, but then near triple-digit heat Saturday through Wednesday. The forecast staying dry. Fire danger probably going to go up next week, but in particular, watching Sundays, we could be up around 105 for portions of the lower Columbia Basin.
That is running inside to the air-conditioned, like the deer. That's that kind of weather.
That's what he's trying to do.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you guys for watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find updates at applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Good Morning America is up next. We'll be back tonight at 5 with your local news and weather.
Have a great day.